UFC Fight Night Baku finished up yesterday, and I'm going to be recapping the entire card, giving my thoughts and breakdowns on the fights that happened, as well as recapping my predictions. In terms of predictions, I did pretty bad in this card, I'm going to be honest. Got some wrong, got the main event wrong as well with Hill. I picked Hill to win, Roundtree stuff, schmucked him, to be honest, but a little bit annoyed at that. But we'll just recap it. We're going to start off. These are the fights on the card. We'll start off with the first fight in the card that happened, which was Hamdi Abdul Wahab versus Muhammad Usman. I said Abdul Wahab would win, and he was looking pretty good inside round number one. He was stinging Usman. I thought he rocked him in round one, didn't he? Let's just have a look at my quick little notes. We'll start off. Usman's off balance. That man's center of gravity is about 2 meters away from his actual, where it's supposed to be. Hamdi threw one leg kick and Usman's almost fallen over his own feet. He looks terrible. He looked like he was fighting without an ACL. Backing up the entire time, Hamzi's basically just pushing him backwards, and he finishes the round with a big overhand right, which wins him the round, to be honest. Not really anything happened here. It was a terrible fight. It's a heavyweight fight. They are the lowest quality fights you can get, except for women's bantamweight. So we go into round number two. Hamdi, he has no urgency at all. Usman lands some big right hands, stings Hamdi a few times, puts him off balance. Usman wins the round with some good body shots. He was landing a good jab to the body, to be fair to him, and an overhand right. That was the extent of the striking match from this fight. We go into round number three. Hamdi's no urgency from the brother. Stops using leg kicks after the second minute of round number one. Usman wins, clear round, 10-9. It was a 29-28 Usman win. Hamdi clearly wins round number one, but then he just stops throwing any leg kicks at all, which was stinging Usman, by the way. Usman checked one leg kick, and Hamdi's like, okay, we'll stop throwing them now. They were throwing Usman's balance off completely. He looked like he was fighting without an ACL. But I guess that's what makes you a UFC quality opponent. You just stop throwing any leg kicks at all once you face any adversity from it at all. I know there were money for you, but it's fine, whatever. Good win from Muhammad Usman. I got it wrong. Unfortunate. Moving on, Tagir Ulanbekov versus Azat Maksum. Now, some people said this was a robbery. It was a very close fight, don't get me wrong. I had it 30-27 because every single round was close. It was similar to, Arman Sarukian versus Islam Makhachev when they fought each other. The first time, well, they were supposed to fight a second time, but Sarukian pulled out. The first time they fought each other, they were close rounds. Every single round was close, but it was clear that Islam won every single round 30-27. I think the same was with this fight as well. I thought Tagir won every single round. Maksum, he made it close. Round one was close. Tagir couldn't get a takedown. He was pretty much locked in on the takedown, but he couldn't get it. He had the hands connected underneath the butt. Couldn't get it. Ulanbekov, he was landing good overhands though. That was there. It was money for him the entire fight. Piecing him up on the feet kind of, but, Maksum was still striking back, and the numbers were very close, but I still think Ulanbekov takes it just based on the fact that his strikes were more damaging than Maksum's. His overhand right or his straight right hand kept landing on the chin of Maksum every single time. I thought he took round number one, 10-9. Close though, very close round. Round number two, close in the striking exchanges, but Ulanbekov was kind of rolling with the punches that Maksum was throwing. Maksum was he was getting stung, basically. So Ulanbekov would land a good right hand, and Maksum would stumble back a little bit, and then Maksum would land a good 1-2-3, but Ulanbekov would be rolling with it. So it's kind of Ulanbekov looks better, and he is doing more damage. What happens there? Does Maksum get a takedown? No. Yeah, he does. So Maksum actually is the only one who got the takedowns in this fight. I thought it would be the other way around. I thought Ulanbekov would get the takedowns and do his pressure wrestling that he likes to do. He couldn't get the takedowns, which is insane. No one's ever been able to do that to Ulanbekov. He's landed a takedown on every single one of his opponents, except for Maksum. So, Ulanbekov grabs the cage blatantly at the end of round number two. Clearly cheating, right? Clearly cheating. One of the most obvious fence grabs I've ever seen in my life. And if he doesn't get that fence grab, he's on bottom position. You know what I mean? I know Maksum kind of got him down, and then Ulanbekov worked his way back up to his feet, but he grabbed the fence so blatantly that if he doesn't grab the fence, I think Maksum gets him down. I think he gets top position. He probably gets the back from that position as well. So, or at least, at the very least, half guard. So I think probably you should have taken it as soon as Ulanbekov gets back up to his feet. You should have probably taken his position away, but it's a little bit too late away from the actual foul to take it away, and it kind of messes with the momentum of the fight. So It's weird. It's weird. And we shouldn't really be giving point deductions for a fence grab. You know what I mean? But it was so blatant and obvious. Crazy. Going to round number 3, Maxim's throwing him around like a rag doll at the end of the rounds. Got me up cheering because Ulanbekov's cheating the entire fight. But round 3 goes to Ulanbekov, in my opinion. Loads of clinching. Ulanbekov was doing better dirty boxing within the clinch, landing good uppercuts on Maxim. Good rips to the body as well at another point. 0 takedowns, though. 0 takedowns. Joshua Van would have pieced him up and put him out cold. I'm not going to lie. Joshua Van would absolutely murk him. He is lucky that he pulled out of that fight. No, hang on, no. Ulanbekov is lucky that he got sick and pulled out because Joshua Van would have murked him. Yeah, so Ulanbekov wins clear 3-0 in my opinion. Arguable 29-28. You could give Maxim, that second round? I mean, all 3 rounds were close. You could give him all 3 rounds on another day, but he just didn't do enough in each round to really sway the fight in his way, in my opinion, anyway. Moving on. Ivan Drago versus Sulagela. Why does it say my prediction was Simon to win this fight? That was last week's fight. It doesn't really fucking matter, to be honest. This was a dead fight. I mean, okay, well, we're not going to call her Drago. We'll call her Aliska Sliva. Sliva was walking forwards like a zombie. You know what I mean? She's just shit, to be honest. She was getting pieced up by Sulagala the entire round. All 3 rounds were the exact same thing of just her walking forwards and trying to brawl and getting pieced up while, Sulagala's moving backwards and piecing her. So that was round 1, round 2, and round 3. In round 3, she got rocked. She gets rocked and Sulagala lands a takedown from it. Gets good ground and pound from full mount. Arguably could be a 10-8, but we need to give 10-8s for actual 10-8 rounds and not just any round that has a little bit of top control and damage from it. So 3-0 Sulagala in my opinion. We're now going to move on to the next women's fight on the card. There were only 2 of them, but, Dara, I can never pronounce her name. Bisping said it rolls off the tongue. Shut up, Bisping. Versus Melissa Mullins. I said Mullins will win this fight because she's better on the ground. She was getting pieced up the entire fight. I was really surprised by the ability of Dariela to, piece up Mullins. In round 2? Round 2, she tried taking a knee in the middle of the fight, though. Mullins tried taking a knee. She kind of, fell forwards and, put her hand on the ground to take a rest. You're in an MMA fight, mate. What are you doing trying to take a rest in the middle of round 2? Crazy. Crazy that this is UFC quality, by the way. I think Dariela won round 2 and round 3. I mean, Mullins arguably wins round 1. She was getting pieced up, but she kind of swapped the momentum in round 1 with a good hit. Lands a takedown late in the round and tries to lock in an armbar, but Dariela defends it. So I had Dariela winning 29-28, round 2, round 3. Mullins takes round number 1, in my opinion. Could be 30-27, because round 1's Dariela was still piecing her up, but yeah, we're going to skip over these fights. I didn't really watch them too closely, to be honest. I was more on my phone, a little bit on Instagram Reels, looking at Tony Has Died, you know what I'm saying? Moving on. This one kind of pissed me off, this fight. I said Park would win by round 2 submission. Nurmadiev almost got himself DQ'd with an illegal knee. He was poking Park in the eye the entire fight. So we start from round number 1. Nurmadiev's piecing him up. Park looks very shit on the feet. Nurmadiev's good in the clinch, good dirty boxing. Then Park kind of puts it on him at the end of the round, and Nurmadiev slips. It's not really a knockdown. It was a slip, but he fell over, you know what I mean? But I gave round 1 to Nurmadiev. Rounds 1, 2 eye pokes for Nurmadiev, I do believe, or 1 eye poke in round 1, 1 in round 2. But he kept poking Park in the eye, and he did it twice in this fight before we get to round 2 where he hits him with a legal knee. Now, Nurmadiev thinks he's won from this illegal knee. He thinks, yeah, it's legal. I'm jumping on the cage and celebrating. It was an illegal knee. He hit Park with an illegal knee, cuts his eye open. His eye's almost shut. I mean, it was kind of half shut to begin with, but, it was even closer to being shut. He gets a 2-point deduction. He needed 2-point deduction, similar to the Smith-Jones situation. It was a deduction. The point deduction was needed. Nurmadiev takes the round, in my opinion. I think he wins the round. But with the point deduction, I gave it 8-9 to Park. You know what I mean? I gave it 8-9 to Park with Nurmadiev taking the round. Does that even make sense? 8-9 to... No, it would be 9-9 round, surely. Retire. What? 2 point deduction takes down to 8. And if he loses the round, it's 7. But if he wins the round, yeah, it's 8. So it's 8-9 Park. You could give it a 10-7 round, to be honest, but it's a point deduction, so it's not a true 10-7. If you give the round to Park. Round 3, Park just lies on the back for the 4 rounds, controls him for the entire round, tries to lock in a submission with 3 seconds left in the round. Like, what's the fucking point, bro? You know what I mean? 28-29 Park. Yeah, you could give it. I think one judge gave it like 29-25, which I think my math is off, but whatever. Moving on. Elliott versus Coe. I said Orban Elliott would get this one done by round 3 KO. Coe looked very good, don't get me wrong. Coe looked solid on the feet, brilliant on the ground, neutralized Orban Elliott. Orban couldn't scramble back up to his feet, kept getting tripped down. Coe's a very good judo fighter, kept tripping him over, kept throwing him, kept dragging him down from the back as well. So Orban Elliott would try getting up, and then Coe would scramble to the back and pull him back down. That was pretty much the entire fight. Orban had no answer for him whatsoever. Dirty fraud check. Good job, Coe, I guess. Good job, Coe. Moving on. Mohamed Naimov versus Bogdan Grad. I said the decision machine, Mohamed Naimov, would win by competitive decision. Mohamed Naimov won by competitive decision. Bogdan Grad didn't do enough damage on the feet, nowhere near enough damage. Naimov just took every single round. Did he take every round? Or was it 29-28? I gave 29-28. It's a Naimov classic. Not a lot of damage in round number 2. Grad held him up against the cage for half the bloody round, and Naimov won round 1 and round 3. Yeah, and didn't want to scrap at the end because Naimov, he's just a boring decision fighter, but that's what you get. That's what you get, I guess. Thanks, Naimov. Made the fight boring. I wouldn't say killed the momentum of the card. The card didn't really have any momentum going into this until we get to Sadikov versus Motta. This could have been fight of the year if it lasted a little bit longer. Could well just be fight of the year. It's a 2-round fight. We had 90 significant strikes from both fighters. I think it was like 89-76 on 6 strikes. So Motta rocks Sadikov and starts teeing off him against the cage, like a 60 points combination against the cage. Drops him. Sadikov recovers and then pushes Motta to the other side of the cage and starts teeing off with him. Insane first round. I gave first round to Sadikov. Motta had a slightly better burst and did more damage against Sadikov against the cage. But for the rest of the round, Sadikov really controlled it. You know what I mean? So Sadikov and Motta both did their burst against the cage, but Sadikov controlled the rest of the round as well as that burst. You know what I mean? So they both bursted against each other against the cage. Motta's were slightly better, but Sadikov controlled the rest of the round, so I gave it to Sadikov. But you could well give it to Motta depending on how you score fights. Round number 2. Big elbow from Sadikov cuts Motta down the middle. Big slicing elbow cuts him straight, like in between the eyebrows, you know, where someone's like monobrow would be. Cuts him right there. Absolute war. Sadikov sits in the pocket with him, pushing him up against the fence, and then wins by TKO against the fence with a 4-punch combination with the right hook, dropping him. Very, very fun fight. Best fight in the card by far. The UFC gave both of these guys 100K. Yeah, not really much you can argue with this. Moving on. Orablai versus Musayev. Musiev. I'm going to call him Musayev. I don't care. Musayev's not on the level of Orablai. I know he's making his debut in the UFC, but he's not on his level. Orablai landed a few takedowns, controlled him for the entire round, and then lands a Kimura with about 30 seconds left in the round. Almost snapped his arm, to be honest. Musayev took a lot of, he was biting down that mouthpiece to try not to tap, but when that Kimura's locked in and he's just cranking on it, you might as well tap, you know what I mean? There's 30 seconds left in the round. You're just going to do more damage to your arm, and I know it's kind of not the fighter way to, sit there and go, I'm going to tap now. The like Oliveira thing where it's in tight and it's like, I'm tapping. But there's 30 seconds left in the round. The Kimura is locked in. He can crank on that arm longer than you can grit your teeth down and take it. So round 1 submission for Orablai. I got this one right. This was the last. No, it's not. I got Blades Kuniev right. Never mind. Blades Kuniev. I got this one right. Blades looked terrible. Tom Aspinall will run through Rizvan Kuniev. We almost had Rizvan Kuniev inside the top 5. Crazy. Some people said it was a robbery. Blades won round 1 and round 3, in my opinion, with Kuniev winning round 2. Kuniev was kind of piecing him up on the feet. I thought Blades would do better. I thought he'd work his jab well. He did work his jab, but not as well as I thought he would. Blades getting pieced up by Kuniev in round 2. Round 1 was just Blades holding him against the fence, trying to take him down. Round 3, Blades kind of shut the bed a little bit, but he did still win. Very close fight, split decision. I had it 29-28 Blades, but you could well give it to Kuniev. But, I mean, this was terrible. But Kuniev can now hang with the guys. He's probably going to get March and Tybora and piece him up, and then he can get put inside the top 7. So, good win for Blades. I got this one right. This is the last one I got right on the card, unfortunately. I didn't get the main or co-main right. I said Bahamondes would win the co-main event against Fiziev. Fiziev was just moving like Neo from the Matrix. Didn't help that Bahamondes was only throwing spin kicks for the entire fight and head kicks, which Fiziev was just doing the same move to avoid it every single time by just dragging his head backwards. But Bahamondes, see, for Bahamondes, it's a weird style matchup because he likes to push forwards, but he can't sit in the pocket with Fiziev because Fiziev's just compact and will just piece him up. And that's what happened. So Fiziev just pieced him up inside the pocket. Then Bahamondes' only strikes at range were head kicks and spin kicks, which I think only one of them landed. You could arguably give Bahamondes. Which round could you give Bahamondes? Maybe round 2. I think you can give him round 2. Round 1 was pretty close as well, but Fiziev, hit a nice blitz forward and caught Bahamondes in the jaw with a good left hook. So you give round 1 to Fiziev. Round 2 you give to Fiziev because he was just, he landed a good takedown and got good ground and pound at the end of the round and pieced Fiziev up on Bahamondes on the feet with good bursts as well. Landed 2 takedowns as well. How can you not stuff the takedowns of Fiziev, bro? Come on. That's what I want to see from my fighters. And you know what? We go into round number 3. Belal Muhammad is in your corner. Now, in round number 3, you need a finish. You're down 2 rounds. I don't want Belal Muhammad in my ear, a guy who has no idea how to get a finish, saying, we need to win this round. We need to win this round, bro. I don't want you in my ear saying we need to win the round. We need to finish the fight. We don't need to win the round. We're down 2 rounds. Why are we saying we need to win the round? Why are we thinking of rounds and not thinking of finishing the fight? It's a dumb mindset to have, and it's infesting the sport, and I don't like it. Anyway, that's enough for shouting at Belal Muhammad. He loses the round, clearly. Fiziev gets a good advantage. I mean, Bahamondes' only option here was to try and land a spin kick KO. Fiziev has the advantage inside the pocket. I mean, Bahamondes ended on bottom position, he landed good elbows on Fiziev and he cuts him open at the end of the round. But Fiziev takes it just from the damage he dealt. You could give Bahamondes round number 3. Close fight in that every single round was kind of close, but Fiziev clearly took every single round. 30-27 in my opinion. Moving on to the main event, Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree. I said Hill would win, man, because Hill's a former champ. You know what I'm saying? Former champ. Khalil Rountree's best win is Anthony Smith, and he got pieced up by Ivan Kutalaba. You know what I'm saying? Lost to Justin Jacoby. But apparently we've got Patient Roundtree now. It's a terrible main event. Completely underdelivered. Roundtree chewed up Hill's leg. He's so ploddy, so hard in that lead leg. Annoys me. I got this one wrong. Roundtree pieced him up for 5 rounds, 50-45. Hill's too ploddy on that lead leg, man. He's too ploddy in the lead leg. Roundtree just chewed it up, and then Hill swapped to orthodox. Roundtree chewed up his leg. So now Hill can't walk, and he's nonchalantly plodding towards Khalil Roundtree, and he's just getting pieced up. Got dropped twice inside, was it round 2? Was it round 3? Round 3, got dropped twice, got dropped with an overhand left, and a right hook to finish the round. And his leg was looking like a balloon halfway through the fight. If Joe Rogan was there, we need to get a close up on that leg, bro. That'll be, that was a terrible impression, but you know what I mean? Like, he would be sucking it off. Khalil Roundtree was clipping him. Round 4 was dead. Round 5, Hill didn't have enough urgency. I thought he would at least try and get some, boxing or some pressure. There was no pressure from Jamal Hill in round 1. You would think, because Khalil Roundtree, the type of fighter he is, to try and land leg kicks, this isn't like Jose Aldo who can land leg kicks in the pocket while boxing. If Hill put the pressure on and try to outbox Khalil Roundtree from round number 1 and not let Roundtree control the pace of the fight and make it a slow, patient fight, Hill doesn't get his leg chewed up. Hill puts Roundtree out in round 3. But I guess that just didn't happen. Hill didn't. His game plan was terrible, and he was too ploddy on that lead leg. So good win for Roundtree. Got this one wrong. This is one of my worst ones of the year, and one of my worst ones I've ever done. Yeah. So 50%. Not a fan of it. I don't like it. But let me know what you think of my predictions. Let me know what you think of my video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.